Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be answering a Q&A in the Focus. Just walk along around here. Once again, as per usual, we've got the bird turd on the side of the car. It happens every single day at this point. And excuse the wheels. Oh my goodness. That's very bad. Anyway, we are going to be doing a Q&A. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the camera inside the car, just facing me, and then we can go through a load of questions. As you can see here, I've got a few questions, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, that I am going to answer. And they're actually pretty good and intriguing questions. So I'm looking forward to answering them and giving you guys a bit more of an insight or an answer to your questions, which were pretty interesting. No bird turds on this side, thankfully. So what we'll do is we'll hop in, admire the absolute beauty that is this new steering wheel and obviously the new stereo. I'm going to quickly set up. You're gonna have to excuse the glasses again because it is super duper sunny, and I got these glasses and now I'm like addicted to using them. So let me quickly air up, let me set you up, and we'll get away with answering the questions. Welcome to the cockpit of the Focus. Just got to get out of here real quick and we'll make a start. Now I'm hoping you guys don't fall off there and that it's not too vibrating. Last time I did this it was pretty smooth, and I'm hoping that the GoPro holds up and we have no issues. Straight into the questions with number one. First question I always get is, well, what's the final version of this car? Now, if you know me personally, you know there's never a final version of anything, and when I say I'm done, I'm actually never done. I try and be done, but it never works. Anyway, what is like the final version of this car? I think there's only like a few more things I can physically do, but if I was to like suggest any changes, then I would say new wheels, maybe aftermarket or something along those lines, a bit wider, maybe a bit of stretch, and a wrap. I think those are like the only two alternative things besides like engine swapping it, right? Well, yeah, I just got overtook by a Skoda. So yeah, I mean, once you get rid of, you know, once we drop this on new wheels and get it wrapped potentially, then it's pretty much done. Now, I can't think of anything else that I can do besides, like I said, engine swap it. But if you have any ideas, then definitely let me know, because I would be interested in finding out if I can do anything more. All right, the next question, question number two. How is the ride on air suspension? I go into a bit of detail on this on my air ride video, so if you want to check it out, click on the top right hand corner. But essentially, the initial bumps and stuff from air ride, as I'm like flying around here, is actually pretty smooth. The problem starts when you start hitting bigger bumps, because there's only so much an airbag can take before it stops like absorbing bumps, right? And that's when it gets really, really, really stiff. Now, if you're on a pretty bad road, like specifically like country roads, for example, you know, the ones that go up, down all the time, that's when you start flying out of your seat. I tell you comfortably that it's not really a problem, and it's something you do get pretty used to until either you start recording videos and notice it, or somebody else gets in the passenger seat and they start going, why is your car so bouncy? It really isn't that much of a problem. And in regards to handling, the car sits fine. It sits into a corner, grips up nicely, and it carries all of its weight through the corner very, very nicely. There's no weird rolling or balloony or really, really soft feeling that I'm guessing is like on earlier air rides. Honestly, it's really, really fun. It's great. It's great suspension. It's a great all-round suspension. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, you should get air ride if you want to go on track, or you should get air ride this, that, and the other. It's specifically an all-round thing, right? If you want to be ultra low but still be able to drive but still have the car handle somewhat all right, then this is the suspension for it. I like being slammed to the floor. I like people looking at the car and going, holy shit, how does he drive it that low? And then you tell them obviously it's on air suspension, and that just lifts up to normal height, which is fantastic. So yeah, to answer your question, doesn't really change much. If you use the coilovers, it's pretty similar to that, except on the really, really big bumps where it gets really, really stiff. So question number three is, why a Focus? So when I was looking for new cars, just as I got rid of my old Toyota Aygo, I was after something that was a bit more motorway friendly. Having a 1 litre petrol Toyota Aygo is definitely not motorway friendly, and it wasn't the best on fuel when you're at that sort of speed. So holy hell, that's a big ramp. So many roadworks. Yeah, so I wanted something that was a bit more motorway friendly. When you look at, like, you know, family cars and stuff like that, my dad had a Ford Focus before, my mum used to have a Ford, my dad's had like 3 Ford Focuses, so he really enjoyed them, got on with them well. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should take some advice from a parent and just go for it. So I was on the hunt for a few cars at the time, but the main one I was after was obviously a Ford Focus. I did have a look at some facelift stuff, a bit out of my price range, unfortunately. Had a look at the 2-litre diesels. I had a look at some petrols as well. One that really caught my eye was the 1.6 EcoBoost, which is the C-Tech S as well. Unfortunately, with the mileage that I'm doing, I can't really justify having a petrol. It just really doesn't make sense. So yeah, I ended up with a 1.6 turbo diesel because that is the one that was on the forecourt, and I was like, you know what, I quite like this, so I'm gonna have it. Now, question number 4 is actually quite not controversial, I think that's the wrong way. It's just like, I don't really talk about it, but for you guys that are pretty new to the channel, you won't know anything about me doing motor vlogs before. Now, I've had a few bikes in my time. Most recently, I had a 2016 Kawasaki ZX6R, and unfortunately was involved in a pretty nasty crash. Pretty hefty damage, and the bike it is not in great shape. Let's just leave it at that. That claim is still ongoing, so I always get these questions that say, will we ever see you back on a bike? And the honest answer from the bottom of my heart, probably not. Now everyone, I can hear them going wild, oh my god, he's not gonna go back on a bike, because there's like so many OG subscribers. And to every single one of you that are still here from all the motovlogging days, thank you very much for sticking around. I'm gonna have to break your heart and say it's probably not gonna happen, purely because I am really not liking the idea of riding on the road. It's something that I think it's now, I've had a few incidents now on bikes where you know, it's been pretty close, and that last one nearly killed me. And I'm not in the mood to get back on a bike as of yet. So yeah, the insurance claim is still ongoing. I can't really say anything about it because there's a lot of stuff going on with it. I might release an update video for all the OGs that are stuck around throughout everything, but honestly, there's not really that much to talk about. I get a lot of questions about, you know, what's going on with it. There's nothing, and I'm as frustrated as you are, probably more frustrated, because I don't have any money from that claim yet. So I'm sat with a bike that's broken, that I've paid for, and outstanding insurance for nearly a year. Anyway, that's the situation we're in, and sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. Right, the next question, I've kind of lost count, maybe 5. Am I going to Ford Fair? Yes, I am. I am actually going on show with Ford Focus Owners Club. They did offer me a spot, and I was like, you know what? Nobody else has offered me a spot, so sure. And at the time, I think I did it like last year, but the car was pretty much stock, and I was like, oh, you know, these guys are pretty nice. You know, I've been in the group for a little while. It might be beneficial for me to just go along with them. And now I think the car's so modified that they're loving me. No, but there's a few guys I'd like to meet in there, so I'm pretty grateful that I'm going on a club stand with them. And it should be a good day. You know, we went to Ford Fair last year. If you want to go check the video out, just search on my channel, Ford Fair 2021. Had an absolute blast. I didn't even show the car, so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the Focus at Silverstone. Letting, you know, if you guys want to come see it, pop your head down. I'll try and keep you guys updated on my Instagram or anything like that, but yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. 6 is another question about coilovers versus air suspension. As I said in the previous thing, I've referenced a lot of stuff. It's nice as an all-round suspension. It's not like excellent at anything, it's just a good all-round suspension, but it's no slack. Just remember that it does the job. Now the next question number 7, what do I do for a living? So a lot of people always ask this, because it seems like I've just got like unlimited car pot. You know, I keep buying parts for this thing left, right and center. The truth is, I'm actually really poor because my car lives a better life than me. Anyway, what do I do for a living? So I am a quality engineer for an aerospace firm. So what does that mean? Everyone thinks, wow, that's fantastic. I look at problems, I figure out why the problem happened, and I make sure the problem doesn't happen again for airplanes. Nothing spectacular. I mean, it's a nice job, don't get me wrong, love the people, love the job. I'm not one of these crazy, you know, like F1 engineers, although if any F1 team is watching this, I may be interested. So the next one is an interesting one. It made me think a little bit. So what is your dream car? Pick one that you may be able to afford and one that you think you could own. I'm quite a dreamer. Let's just say that, right? I've got pretty high expectations in my life, and having pretty nice cars is at the top of that list. Now, I'd say an absolute dream car, a poster car for me that I've genuinely wanted since I was a little kid, has always been an Audi R8. There's something about an Audi R8 that just hands down one of the best looking cars on the road. With the price tag of the brand new R8, I might be able to afford it one day. You know, I might have to remortgage a house or something, but yeah, no, I don't think I'm gonna. I've got dreams of reaching this, right? I've got dreams of reaching an Audi R8, but it's going to take a lot of work, so let's leave that in the mind. Now, a car I could definitely own, and one of the dream cars, that's probably going to be something like, I wouldn't say it's a dream car, because I feel like a dream car is something that I can't afford, right? Something that I really would have to work hard, but like a realistic target for a car is probably like a BMW M2. It's a car that's been on my radar for a very, very long time. The M2 competition in that lovely like crayon Nardo grey sort of thing. Stunning, stunning car, and it's something I could probably afford, right? Let's be honest. If we work hard enough, it's something we can actually work towards. So yeah, let's say that. Let's say a Audi R8, brand new one, like the newest shape. I've loved them since I was a little kid, but all these generations just keep getting better and better. So let's say brand new R8 for the dream car, might be able to afford in the future, and one car that I probably could afford that I think is pretty good is BMW M2. This question is asking me about why a Ford Focus. Once again, I've answered this already, but if there's anything you want to know, specifics ins and out, just leave it in the comment section below. I'll try my best to get back to you guys. Any outstanding questions, obviously. What are the current plans for the car? So currently there is no plans, actually. It's quite a rarity, but I have nothing lined up. I've spent probably too much money on it in the past month, as you guys have seen. You know, custom boot build, we had Sync 3 stereo installed, we did the reverse camera, we've done the steering wheel. Like, my bank's probably screaming at me going, yo, chill out. So at the moment, not really any plans. I really want to start cleaning up everything, so possibly maybe underseal the whole underside of the car. That's the next thing for me. Not any like crazy modifications or anything like that, but definitely looking into possibly undersealing or protecting the car for obviously future use. It's a car I really like and I would like to keep. If the situation allows it to happen, I will definitely keep this car, whether it's a daily driver or we show it, or you know, whatever we do with it. It's a lovely, lovely car and it's been very well looked after. Now this question is an interesting one. So, how long do I spend working on my car? Now it's funny because my mom asked me this question. In short, if you want to know a very short, quick answer, a lot of time. Like, my car is my hobby. Between cars and computer games and obviously YouTube and stuff like that, that's pretty much my life. That's my hobby. You know, I go to work, I come back and work on the car, or I go to work, come back and take pictures of the car, or you know, play games or whatever. So I'd say 5 out of 7 days a week I'm working on the car. Now that doesn't mean I'm taking everything apart or anything. It could be having a look, or taking a wheel off, or adjusting something, or sitting in the car doing some coding, whatever. I'd say about 5 out of 7 days a week. I'd say 2-3 days a week I spend the evening like computer gaming or doing anything like that when I've got the time, obviously. But yeah, I spend a lot of time. If we average, let's say about 5 hours a day, 5 times 5, 25 hours a week working on my car. That seems pretty reasonable. Obviously, if we're doing pretty big updates like you know, changing the steering wheel or fitting a reverse camera, then it could be even longer. It could be like a Saturday, for example, and it'd work the whole day trying to put that together. Okay, we have stopped because we are now doing the final question, which requires a calculator. So you're probably thinking, bloody hell, what requires a calculator? How much have I spent on this car? Now, I can't remember everything, don't get me wrong. I've spent a lot of money on this car, but I could, you know, we could just add up like the big things and then just give a rough estimate from there. Let's start from like the most expensive thing, right? Air suspension, about £2,700. We go for the boot build, that was about $650. We go for the steering wheel, which is about 200. We do Sync 3, which was recent as well as the steering wheel, which was 700. It was 720. Let's do the remap. That was about 300. Oh, the seats. I think that was about 300. The headliner, about 150. Just trying to check. Let's do like an odds and sods, right? Let's say about £300 on like odds and sods, from like the pedals to the wrap. I don't know, just like general stuff that I've bought for the car. And now I've probably missed something, right? Now I paid about 6,500-ish for this car in 2019, which was a damn good deal at the time, but an even better deal now. But this is the total of the mods. So £5,320 on the mods. Then let's add the car, about 6,500 quid. So all in all, we're just under about £12,000 for everything. Now, if you ask me, that's actually not a bad amount for how good this car physically looks. Like, it's insane, let's be honest. Anyway, that was the final question. So I hope I've answered all your questions. If there's any questions that obviously you want to ask me that I can answer in another video, you can either drop them down in the comment section here and I'll try and answer them straight away, or if I think it's worthy of another Q&A video, I might slap another few Q&A things onto the Instagram story and Facebook page. So guys, make sure you click in the links below, www.xiolage.com, and make sure you're following on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of those platforms. I do a lot of content outside of just videos as well, so make sure you go on over, ask your questions on there. I'm always, you know, active. I'm trying to help the community out, so if you got any other questions, leave them down here or on the socials. But other than that, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.